today we're going to take a look at some fine art, the landscape with the fall of Icarus. It's an oil on canvas painting from 1560. It can be viewed at the Royal Museums of Fine Arts in Belgium, Brussels. Attribution has been given to Pieter Bruegel the Elder, but in the 1990s, some people think that the one that was hanging out may not be his original, and that original actually has been lost. Anywho, the painting is derived largely from Ovid and is described in W.H. Audubon's poem, Musée des Beaux-Arts. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Okay, let's take a look at the picture. There it is. It's a beautiful painting. Notice how you get the beautiful greens. Notice how the artist has captured the reflection of the sun off the ocean waves at different places and different points as that light refracts off the water. It's quite beautiful. As Katie pointed out, this poem, this painting was based on a Greek myth, in this case written down by a Roman, Ovid, the 1st century BC Roman poet. He wrote a book called The Metamorphoses, and in The Metamorphoses he tells the story poetically of Icarus. Icarus was the son of Daedalus, and Daedalus was the great creator of the ancient world. He created the maze under Crete that the Minotaur used to roam around in. Whenever there was something that needed to be invented for the benefit of mankind, Daedalus was the man. He was kind of like the Thomas Edison on steroids of the ancient Greek world. And Daedalus had a son named Icarus. Well, one day, Daedalus wanted to get away from the Greek tyrant on the island of Crete, the one who forced him to build this maze for this monster. So what Daedalus did is he fashioned artificial wings, bird wings, and he used wax to fasten the wings together and to fasten the wings to himself. He did the same thing for his son. So he made these wings of wax and feathers. And all of a sudden, one day on a bright sunny day, he and his son Icarus, they took off and started flying. They were flying away from Crete and flying toward freedom and a new life. But Icarus, being impulsive, he just loved the flying, right? And he kept flying higher. He wanted to see how high he could go. And his father called to him, Icarus, Icarus, don't fly too close to the sun. But the boy wouldn't listen. A parable about rank ambition, right? Icarus flew too close to the sun. The wax melted, and boom, there's your picture. Right between the fisherman at the bottom and the boat, do you see a pair of legs sticking out from the water? That's Daedalus' son, Icarus. Icarus has just splashed into the sea dead. And the irony that the painter, Pieter Bruegel the Elder, was trying to show us, is look at the scene. You've got in the foreground, you've got a plowman with his horse plowing. You've got in the bottom right-hand corner a fisherman who's not even paying attention, too busy casting his line. Right behind the plowman, you have a shepherd. And then you have a ship, a sailing ship. Look at how the sail of that ship is completely billowed out. It's a windy day, right? And so with the wind and the sun and the noise of the sheep and the plow and the noise of the boat as it sails across the windy Mediterranean, no one has heard the splash. Icarus has crashed into the water and the world goes on. Look, every day, somebody suffers and dies. And in almost every instance, it happens with almost nobody knowing. The world outside the hospital window of the person who's in their last stage of cancer, outside the window, the planes keep flying and the cars keep driving and the birds keep singing. That picture is a reminder, if we go back to it one last time, that the world is a place that is largely indifferent to even large-scale suffering, our ability to empathize. When there's a plane crash or something like that, it's news for a day and then it's forgotten. And so we do find ourselves in a situation of a 1st century BC poem by Ovid, the Roman poet, has been captured by a 16th century Dutch painter. And the lesson is staggering. That if you didn't see those legs kicking out of the sea, and they're almost impossible to see, right? With everything else going on, you'd have to really study that poem to notice those legs and to ask yourself where they came from. It's a commentary on suffering in a world that is oftentimes not very empathetic.